Roll call.
Freeholders, Apter, Bartlett, Ness, Duffy, Lepore, Deputy Director James, Director Lazare.
Here. Okay, we'll start off with the administrator's report.
Thank you, Director. First on the agenda, we have a presentation by Freeholder James. Freeholder James, are you making the proclamation? Recognizing the week of March 11th through March 17th as MS Awareness Week throughout the county of Passaic, to Ms. Janice Sangle. Janice, always a pleasure to have you here. We'll have you come forward here to the table. I think it'll be easier for you. Yeah, okay. Right now, we can make the presentation. No time like the present, right? You want to?
No, you're going to do it waiting for the proclamation.
Oh.
I can make it up, but I can. Come on. If you want to come and sit here.
Janice, you have a few words you want to say? Well, apparently we're waiting for the proclamation.
Sure. Okay, my name is Janice Sangle. I am a member of the Government Relations Committee of the New Jersey Metro Chapter of the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. I am also the leader of a MS self-help group called the Squeak Wheels. That meets in West Milford. And I'm also one of the estimated 2.3 million people who are diagnosed with MS. Multiple sclerosis is a very unpredictable disease and often disabling disease of the central nervous system that interrupts the flow of information from within the brain and the body. Usually people are diagnosed between the ages of 20 and 30 years of age, and MS lasts a lifetime, and currently there's no cure. Multiple sclerosis causes many different symptoms, including vision loss, pain, fatigue, impaired coordination, and slurred speech, tremors, just to name a few. The symptoms and severity and durations can vary from person to person. Some people may be symptom-free for most of their lives, while others can have a chronic, more severe form of MS that will never go away. MS has impacted my life in so many different ways. Some that were good, like the people I've met and the knowledge I've gained, and some, there was some challenges that were along the way and that accompany MS. And for me, MS means not knowing what the day is going to bring. And will my body go along with my plans, or will pain, visual problems, fatigue, spasticity, decreased mobility, alter my plans for the day. So if you see someone struggling, don't be afraid to ask if you can lend a helping hand. That's what the National MS Society did for me when I was diagnosed back in 1992. They were there with the vital information and support that I needed then and I use now. Although I'm diagnosed with MS, it doesn't define me as a person. I'm still me with all my unique, quirky personality and traits, which some of you know. And MS can't take that away from me. I encourage everyone to learn more about MS and what you can do to support people with multiple sclerosis and their families by visiting the National Multiple Sclerosis Society's website, and that's on www.nmss.org. Because knowledge is powerful, and together we are stronger to help stop MS in its tracks. And through funding and research, my hope is to restore function and to repair the damage and to just end MS forever. That's my hopes.
Can you read that Carol there?
Yeah, sure.
Because she's somewhat modest. Janice also volunteers her time on our Council for Disabilities, and really single-handedly has held all of our feet to the fire with all of our public buildings and making sure that they're ADA accessible, including our parks. And Janice happens to enjoy visiting our parks, and presently, as we speak now, in Garrett Mountain, we're redoing all 4 of the permanent bathrooms out there to be ADA accessible, along with ADA accessible picnic tables and benches. And she does that not just for herself, but everyone, so that they could live a life of dignity, enjoy everything that we take for granted most of our day. And Janice, uniqueness, but it's a great uniqueness that you really do keep us on our toes. And she's always willing to look at the plans and make sure that we're doing it the right way. And we're happy and honored and privileged to know you and to have you here in Passaic County. So I wanted to just say that publicly as well. Thank you for all that you do on behalf of people with disabilities.
I absolutely agree, and I second everything you said. You are, on top of everything you just described about your own life, such an incredibly effective advocate. And it takes advocates with experience using the facilities that we have at this legal obligation to create. And I think of you, and I think of other people I know who use a wheelchair, particularly this time of year, and curb cuts covered with snow, and sidewalks gone very, very narrow because of how people shovel or don't. And it's something that I take especially personally because one of my mother's college friends had MS, and through their lifelong friendship, I watched her struggle with these challenges actually back before the Americans with Disabilities Act, and through to more recent years, and also with the frustration, as you said, of you don't know what each day will hold, and being that it can be a degenerative disease that, 1 year can hold very different things from the year before. So, but you have always, and as long as I've been on the board, been a powerful and effective advocate, not just for the community of people with MS, but for the whole range of disability challenges that people in the Passaic County face. So I'm thrilled that you're here, and I'm very happy to read into the record our recognition of the issue of multiple sclerosis. Whereas multiple sclerosis, or MS, is a neurological disease of the central nervous system affecting 2.3 million people worldwide. And whereas the National Multiple Sclerosis Society New Jersey Metro Chapter reports that in our state more than 14,000 people are living with MS, and that the disease generally strikes people in the prime of life between ages 20 and 50, and the cause and course of the often debilitating symptoms of MS remain unknown and no cure currently exists. And whereas the National Multiple Sclerosis Society has been committed for more than 70 years to a world free of MS, heightening public knowledge about and insight into the disease. And whereas since 1946, the National Multiple Sclerosis Society has been a driving force of MS research, relentlessly pursuing prevention, treatment, and a cure, and has invested more than $900 million in groundbreaking research. And whereas funds raised through the National Multiple Sclerosis Society fueled $42.1 million funding 380 research projects at the best medical centers, universities, and other institutions throughout the U.S. and abroad, leading to many breakthroughs in the treatment of MS. And whereas stopping MS in its tracks, restoring what has been lost, and ending MS forever is the mission of the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, and one that all Americans and New Jerseyans should support. And whereas the County of Passaic, New Jersey, recognizes the importance of finding the cause and cure of MS, and expresses its appreciation for the dedication that the National Multiple Sclerosis Society New Jersey Metro Chapter has shown toward creating a world free of MS. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic that it hereby designates March 11 through 17, 2018 as MS Awareness Week, and encourages all county residents to learn more about multiple sclerosis and what they can do to support individuals with MS and their families. Signed on behalf of us all. I also have a freeholders and proudly presented to you today.
You got that. Have y'all seen these? These are amazing. The new technologies.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you. All right. So next on the agenda, everyone knows that March 19th is the Feast of St. Joseph. It's a very big day. It's Italian Americans in the Catholic Church. Typically a lot of St. Joseph's tables, food, and do I have the wrong agenda here? Oh, it's the other saint. The Italian saint, but it's a whole other reason that we're here this evening. I will turn over our Irish Heritage Celebration to our Master of Ceremonies, none other than Freeholder Terry Duffy.
Thank you, Anthony.
Good evening, everyone. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm proud and honored to be able to be up here. Wishing you that. Make sure you bring some soda bread home. Help yourself. We have an awful lot of it. I'm going to introduce Father Ryan, which many of us all know from St. James Church. Give the invocation. St. James and March's Church. Sorry, Father. And I apologize about my little Italian friend that has no green on at all. You will be spanked later on. Yes, Father, if you would.
Thank you, Freeholder. I just wanted to mention before we start to pray how pleased I am to see Freeholder Bartlett without that orange tie on that you wore last year. Not that I hold grudges.
That worked for 5 years ago. You have to let that go.
It's hard. It's hard. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. God our Father, we thank you for allowing us to gather together to honor St. Patrick and all the Irish, all those who whose families have come from the other side and have done so well in this county. It's kind of interesting, the people that, and I only know 3 of them. I don't know Kate, but all right, so I know 3 of them. They're just really good people. They'll do anything for anybody. And they're the brick and the mortar of our country and our county. So I'm glad we're honoring them, because they usually stay away from the limelight. So God, continue to bless them, bless their families, bless all of us, that we can always appreciate the Irish and diversity among us. That's what makes this country great. So we ask your blessing on Michael and Kate and James and Elizabeth, that this honor that we give them today might just be a small sign of a recognition for lives that are well-lived and hopefully will be well-lived for many, many years. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Thank you, Father. You want to do something religious and take up a collection or anything?
I'm still waiting for your check.
With that being said, we have a treat tonight. We have these lovely ladies from the Jig Factory, or from Ridgewood, and if you enjoy it, which I'm sure you will, they will also be playing at a place called Duffy's Tavern on 1st and River Street on Sunday afternoon. Ladies, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Music.
I mentioned they'll be at Duffy's. So that being said, we have our honorees from the
Presentation of the honorees. Michael Tromwin is, I'll get the honor to read your proclamation, and then we'll go down to Kate. It's good to see you, Kate, and the Begans as well. So, that being said, Michael, come on up. You want the family up? We'll read this day, and then we'll take a picture. I've known Michael for quite some time, actually. He's a Patterson farmer, and we read this, a great guy, great family. So whereas, in recognition of the outstanding achievements and contributions made by many exceptional Irish Americans over the years, the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic deems it fitting and appropriate this time to recognize Michael Tromlin during its Irish Heritage Celebration. And whereas Michael Tromlin was born and raised in Patterson and currently resides in Totowa, he is a graduate of Don Bosco Tech High School, and he earned his BA in Business Management from Montclair State University. Whereas Michael Tromlin was appointed to the Patterson Fire Department in 2001, and he was promoted to the rank of captain in 2009. And whereas Michael Tromlin was a recipient of the 2003 Deputy Chief Sweeney Valor, James Sweeney Valor Association Award, the 2006 Father John Picone Brotherhood Award. He has served as Patterson Firefighters Association Trustee, Patterson Fire Officers Association Recording Secretary. He is a life member of the New Jersey Firefighters Mutual Benefit Association, Secretary of the Patterson Firefighters Relief Association, Chairman of the Patterson Firefighters Father John Picone Memorial Blood Drive, Chairman of the Patterson Diocese Red Mass Committee honoring fallen firefighters throughout the Patterson Diocese, Chairman of the Patterson Fire Department Memorial Service honoring 28 firefighters from the city of Patterson that died in line of duty, Co-Chair of the Patterson Firefighters Christmas Dinner for the Clergy, Founder of the Patterson Firefighters Foundation, and initial Chairman of the Patterson Firefighters Breast Cancer Awareness Fundraiser. You ever get time to fight any fires? You smoke smoke? Whereas Michael Tromlin is the recipient of the Irish Echo 2015 Irish American First Responders Award, a former director and coach of the Patterson CYO Basketball League, recipient of the Knights of Columbus 2000 Community Award, a member of the St. James Parish in Totowa, and a member of the St. James Irish Society. Whereas Michael Tromlin has been married to wife Donna for 27 years, they have a daughter Nicole and a son Michael. Whereas Michael Tromlin has given unselfishly his time and energy in each position he has held, which was marked with commitment, dedication, and professionalism, having earned him the respect of one and all who come in contact with him. Whereas Michael Tromlin is a unique and most respected colleague, associate, and friend of many persons within the County of Passaic, he has brought honor and prestige not only to himself, but to Passaic County as well. And the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic would like to express its gratitude and appreciation. This is my favorite part, and I know my colleagues know this. It's like the Wizard of Oz. Now therefore be proclaimed by the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic that it hereby publicly recognizes Michael Tromlin during its Irish Heritage Celebration for his significant contributions he has made, exemplary service he has unselfishly devoted to the County of Passaic. Be it further proclaimed that this board extends its sincere best wishes to him for continued success. Michael, congratulations.
Well, first I'd like to thank Freeholder Duffy and all the freeholders for this honor. I'm certainly humbled and honored to receive such an award. Just a few people I do like to acknowledge, and when I talk about Irish heritage, the one thing I think about most is family. And my family over there, they've been so supportive. My mom and my dad, supportive throughout everything I've done. My children are by my side, but most importantly, my wife, because everything I've done, whether it's going on the fire department or any of these other events, she's right there for me. Love you guys, and thank you very much.
Take pictures now or later?
So group picture?
You want a picture with your family? You like them up?
Right in the middle.
Go where you want. Kate Muldoon, come on up. All right, Kate. We have Tom Butler, who I know you're familiar with. He has something to read this. Great.
Okay, thank you for coming. This is a special treat for me because over my years as a freeholder, I've gotten to work quite a bit with our Economic Development Department. Deborah Hoffman's here with us tonight. And so much of what we do is made possible or made better by the Small Business Development Center at William Patterson University, which you are so ably in charge of. And it's my privilege to read this into the record for Irish History Month. Whereas in recognition of the outstanding achievements and contributions made by many exceptional Irish Americans over the years, the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic deems it fitting and appropriate at this time to recognize Kathleen Kate Muldoon during its Irish Heritage Celebration. And whereas Kathleen Muldoon is a graduate of Immaculata University and the ABA's National Graduate Trust School at Northwestern University, she is also a graduate of Rutgers University Senior Leadership Program for Professional Women and the Leadership Fellows Program for the New York City Leadership Center. And whereas Kathleen Muldoon has been employed as Executive Director at the William Patterson University Small Business Development Center since 2004, as Director she offers small business owners the assistance they need to plan and develop successful and profitable ventures by offering training. And whereas Kathleen Muldoon has worked in the financial services industry for over 20 years in various capacities, including management, operations, sales, and relationship management, she most recently served as Senior Vice President and Manager for the Bank of America Women's Entrepreneurs Connection covering New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania. And whereas Kathleen Muldoon served on the Rutgers University Business School Board of Advisors and the New Jersey Association of Women's Business Owners Advisory Board. She is currently a board member of the Patterson Alliance and serves as Executive Director and Vice President of the Bridge Hook Community Development Corporation in Patterson. And whereas Kathleen Muldoon has given unselfishly of her time and energy in each position she has held, which was marked with commitment, dedication, and professionalism, having earned her the respect of one and all who come into contact with her. And whereas Kathleen Muldoon is a unique and most respected colleague, associate, and friend of many persons within the County of Passaic, and she has brought honor and prestige not only to herself, but to Passaic County as well. And the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic would like to express its gratitude and appreciation to her. Now, Terry's favorite part, now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic that it hereby publicly recognizes Kate Muldoon during its Irish Heritage Celebration for the significant contributions she has made and the exemplary service she has unselfishly devoted to the County of Passaic, and be it further proclaimed that this board extends its sincere best wishes to her for continued success. Kate.
Thank you, Freeholder, and to the rest of the Freeholders. This is truly an honor. I really do appreciate it. I have been at the Small Business Development Center serving the county for 14 years. It feels like 14 months. I don't know where the time has gone. But being honored as an Irish woman is just making, as Michael said, my family so proud. You know, my grandparents are from Roscommon and Cork on my father's side, Belfast on my mother's side, and they're really just as proud as can be. So the Irish piece means more to them than the things that you had said, but I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
One more.
Thank you.
Our next honoree is actually the husband and wife, so why don't we ask them both to come up, and we'll have freeholder T.J. Best and freeholder Lepore with no green on.
Since we always do women first, I'm going to read for Elizabeth. Whereas Elizabeth J. Began is a graduate of St. Joseph Hospital School of Nursing and served as a pediatric nurse for St. Joseph Hospital and the Holy Family Residence, she currently works as a staff member of Catholic Charities Patterson Adult Daycare. And whereas Elizabeth Began is an active parishioner of St. James of the Marshes Church in Total Work. She is a pre-Canon instructor, a minister, and a member of the St. Vincent de Paul Society and worker at St. Joseph's Table and Dinner. And whereas Elizabeth has been married to James for over 40 years, only 40 years? 45, okay, that's been married for 45 years and love each other dearly, and has given unselfishly of her time, energy in each position that she has held, which has marked with commitment, dedication, and professionalism, having earned her the respect of one and all who come into contact with her. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic that it hereby publicly recognizes Elizabeth during the Irish Heritage Celebration for the significant contributions she has made and the exemplary service that she has unselfishly devoted to the County of Passaic. And be it further proclaimed that the Board extends its sincere best wishes for her continued success. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It sounds like 45 years was a long time, but he's been right there beside me, and I beside him. And we thank you. And we are also very proud of our Irish heritage. That many years ago, our families came. First, some of us, our grandparents came from Scotland, and before that they came from Ireland because they had to get out of Ireland because of the problems in Ireland. And some of them came directly from Ireland. So we are very proud of our Irish heritage, but we're also very proud of our American heritage.
Okay, tag team with that here. Whereas in recognition of the outstanding achievements and contributions made by many exceptional Irish Americans over the years, the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic deems it fitting and appropriate at this time to recognize James Began during Irish Heritage Celebration. James is a retired postal worker. He's a former high school CYO coach and a total PAL football and basketball coach. James Began is an active parishioner of St. James of the Marshes Church in Totowa. He is a pre-Cana instructor, a member of St. James Parish Council, a member of the St. Vincent's de Paul Society, a member of the Knights of Columbus, a member of the St. James Academy of Grand Friends, and as a worker of St. Joseph's Table and Dinner. He is also a reader and serves weekday Mass and serves as a sacristan. Whereas James J. Began has been married to Elizabeth Began for 45 years. James has given unselfishly of his time and energy to each position he has held, which is marked with commitment, dedication, and professionalism, and having earned him the respect of one and all who come in contact with him. James is a unique and most respected colleague, associate, and friend of many persons within the County of Passaic, and he has brought honor and prestige not only to himself, but Passaic County as well. The Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic would like to express its gratitude and appreciation to him. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic that it hereby publicly recognizes James J. Began during its Irish Heritage Celebration for the significant contributions he has made and the exemplary service that he is unselfishly devoted to the county of Passaic. Now therefore be it proclaimed that this board extends its sincere best wishes to him for continued success. Okay? Thank
You're past that to follow the boss. I feel somewhat embarrassed by this because there's so many more people who deserve it more than I. I am grateful for Father Patrick for helping us, come along with this award. And as my wife said, our families are from Ireland. My father, an immigrant from Scotland, from Irish parents that were thrown out of Scotland for religious reasons. And we have very deep roots in Patterson. And I'd like to make this known that my grandfather, many years ago, was the Dolphin Jew Mill in Patterson on Spruce Street. And it was mostly Irish and Scots that worked there. But when the Italians started coming, my grandfather knew that there was a need for other people to have a job also. So he hired a few of them, much to the dismay of fellow Scots and Irishmen, but they turned out to be, fine workers and great friends. And I really am grateful for getting this award with my wife, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Married 29, 30 maybe. Once you take 5, 6 underwater. How about we get all the honorees and go up there? Yeah. Take one. Okay. What's
Thank you.
All right, we're going to have another rendition. Thank you, girls. Great. Did I mention we're going to be playing on Sunday, 4 o'clock, 4 weekend? Are we?
Thank you.
Ladies, we have a certificate, and I appreciate you coming here today. That's right, 4 o'clock on Sunday. So, Emily Walsh. Oh, my glasses. Hang on. We have an Emily here?
Yes.
Well, that might be you then, Emily. Help me out, will you? Emily? Maish. Emily Maish. Where are you from?
Westwood.
Westwood. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for being here. And Grace McLaughlin. That's you, Grace. Where are you from?
Ridgewood.
What do you have, Brett? Thank you so much. And I'll bet you're Danielle Poole.
Yes.
How'd I guess? Danielle, where are you from?
Ridgewood also.
Ridgewood as well.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming all the way.
Yes.
And we'll see you Sunday at 4 o'clock. I know they answer on Friday. So, Father, that concludes our ceremony. Could you say parting words and give us a blessing? I know you get only one, or you have a couple in the car. Thank you all for attending this, and thanks for the honorees. I mean, you're what makes Passaic County so great. And truly, I believe in that. And I know there's a lot more out there, and thank God there are, whether Irish or Italian. No bagpipers, because we couldn't get them.
I was going to say the best part about the
But they will be playing at Duffy's Tavern on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that being said, I'm quarter Italian, I might as well admit. Father, please.
God our Father, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for all Terry does for the Irish community. We ask that you keep us all safe, that you continue to allow peace to reign in Ireland and allow our country to go in a right direction. And we ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Please, soda bread, even if you take 2 or 5, as I know you got a lot of mouths to feed them at the rectory. That concludes it, Anthony. See you next year.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Thank you again. Congratulations to the honorees.
Director, that concludes my portion of the conference agenda.
Thank you. So move on to review the agenda. Next starters.
Through you, Madam Director, we do have one late starter this evening. This is the resolution authorizing a traffic signal agreement between the Borough of Prospect Park and the County of Passaic. The grant will be funded through community development block funds in the amount of $147,394.45, and the county will also front the cost for the design and any overages. So you can mark that down as P40.
Thank you. Any, do we need to go to executive session?
No, not this evening.
Thank you. Okay, on adjournment of the conference agenda. James and Best.
Freeholders, Apter. Bartlett. Best. Duffy. Lepore. Deputy Director James. Director Lazare.
Welcome to the 2013-2018 freeholders meeting. You might have the announcement of the open public meeting law, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, the notice requirement of open public meetings law has been satisfied with respect to this meeting, specifying the time, date, and location, including the annual notice, adopted the reorganization meeting, filed with the county clerk, posted in the administration building, and mailed to due newspapers in accordance with the provisions of the law.
Roll call.
Freeholders, Apter. Bartlett. Best. Here. Duffy. Here. Lepore. Here. Deputy Director James. Here. Director Lazare.
Here.
Please note that Freeholder Bartlett just walked in.
We should. Never have so many locations.
O God, who provides for thy people by thy power, and rules over them in love, be gracious enough to bless thy servants, our freeholders in this county of Passaic, that thy people may dwell in peace and safety through our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
running the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a moment of silence to remember all the men and women who have died while serving in the United States Armed Forces. Approval of minutes. James and Ford.
Freeholders, Actor, Bartlett. Best.
Yes.
Duffy.
Here.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James. Director Lazare.
Yes. Have a motion to approve the proclamations.
So moved. Second.
Best. Lepore. Freeholders, Actor. Bartlett. Best.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Lazare.
Yes. Could I have a motion to suspend the regular order of business?
Move it. Second.
After
Duffy.
report.
Freeholders, Actor. Bartlett. Best.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore. Deputy Director James. Director Lazare.
Yes. Can I have a motion to open a public hearing on the 2018 CAP resolution R-18-65 adopted on first reading on February 13, 2018 to exceed index rate NJSA 40A, semicolon 45, semicolon 15, all as noted in the resolution.
Move it.
Yes.
Just for the public benefit, exactly what this resolution does. No, not you, it's Katana.
The CAP resolution is required by law that we pass this each year, and that we comply with the CAP. We need to fall with the statutory guidelines required that we fall within, underneath the CAP calculation. So we prepare this calculation every year. Basically, we pass this resolution more as a formality, which allows us the opportunity to bank CAP for future years' budgets, should there be a need to use that going down the road. We believe this year's budget is well under the cap and $60 million. So we're more than fine. We're under the cap. However, it does allow for us going forward, should there be a need to change our operating procedures.
Thank you very much.
Roll call.
Freeholders, Actor.
Yes.
Bartlett.
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Lazare.
Yes. Does anyone present desire to be heard on the 2018 CAP resolution?
Seeing no one voting, I'll move to close the public portion. Second.
Freeholders, Actor.
Yes.
Bartlett.
Yes.
Best. Yes. Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James. Director Lazare.
Yes. Can I have a motion for final adoption on the 2018 CAP resolution R-18-65 to exceed index rate, all as noted in the resolution?
Move it.
James and Upton.
Freeholders, Actor. Bartlett. Best.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James. Director Lazare.
Yes. We're going to move on to a motion to open a public hearing on the 2018 Passaic County budget introduced on February 13, 2018, and, 13, and on resolution I-8.
Move it.
Second.
James and LaFleur.
Freeholders, Actor. Bartlett. Best.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James. Director Lazare.
Yes. Does anyone present desire to be heard on the 2018 Passaic County budget and resolution I-8?
Seeing no one voting, I'll move to close the public portion. Second.
Duffy and Roll call.
Freeholders, Actor.
Yes.
Bartlett. Yes. Best.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Lazare.
Yes. I need, well, number 8, a resolution for governing body certification of compliance with the United States Equal Employment Opportunity Commission's enforcement guidance on the consideration of arrest and conviction records in employment decisions under Title 7 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, all as noted in the resolution.
Move it. Second.
James and Bartlett.
Freeholders, Actor.
Yes.
Bartlett. Yes. Best.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore. Yes. Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Lazare.
Yes.
Before you, is a certification that sign as well, or is it just a certification, each individual?
The motion to adopt the 2018 Passaic County budget.
Move it. Second.
Freeholders, Actor.
Yes.
Bartlett. Yes. Best.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James. Director Lazare.
Yes. Moving on to bond ordinance 2018-04.
An ordinance of the County of Passaic, New Jersey, approving and authorizing the execution and delivery of a lease purchase agreement with the Passaic County Improvement Authority relating to the issuance of up to $17 million aggregate principal amount of the authority's county general obligation lease revenue bonds, DPW building project, and any notes issued in anticipation thereof by the Passaic County Improvement Authority.
Second.
Freeholders, Actor.
Yes.
Bartlett. Best.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Lazare.
Yes. Does anyone present wish to be heard on ordinance 2018-04?
Seeing no one voting, we'll move to close the public portion. Second.
Duffy and Alter.
Freeholders.
Freeholders, Actor.
Yes.
Bartlett. Best.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Lazare.
Yes. Do I have a motion to adopt bond ordinance 2018-04?
Move it.
Ordinance.
Freeholders, Actor.
Yes.
Bartlett.
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Lazare.
Yes. Do I have a motion to resume the regular order of business?
Make that motion.
Second.
Duffy and
Freeholders, Actor.
Yes.
Bartlett.
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Lazare.
yes. Freeholder reports. I guess I'll start. I just have two notices, and they are on the table over there. The first one, I'll go in order of date. On the 24th of this month, the Passaic County Board of Chosen Freeholders, the Passaic County Sheriff, and the Passaic County Education Associations in unison will be holding a March for Our Lives in conjunction nationally with over 700 other participants for gun safety control, and two, more importantly, support our kids who need us to back them up. So you are invited anyone's invited to come, March 24th, 10:30 a.m. at Rifle Camp Park. And the second initiative we have is the Veterans Prevention Vets in Crisis Initiative. The Passaic County Board of Chosen Freeholders, along with the Catholic Charities Diocese of Patterson, on Wednesday, March 28th, from 8:30 to 2 p.m. at the Public Safety Academy. We will be addressing issues that pertain to the veterans and PTSD and all those things. You're welcome to come to that also. There's a sign up online, or you can reach out to Lou and Mark, our clerk to the board. Thank you. Freeholder Actor?
Field Director, I want to thank you for organizing that rally about guns and the role that they play in our society. And we spoke about this at the last freeholder meeting, and you as a teacher, I think you understand exclusively when they talk about arming teachers in our schools, what a ridiculous idea that is, and what a dangerous idea that is, and what an unhelpful idea that is. And even if we were to lock down every school and make every school like Fort Knox, that still wouldn't secure every church, that still wouldn't secure every mall, that still wouldn't secure every public square place where people gather. So we can try to secure every single inch of ground that we walk on, or we can do the obvious solution and do some common sense gun control. So I applaud you for your leadership on this. I did want to wish a belated happy birthday to my colleague, John Bartlett, who also happens to share a birthday, I believe, with our clerk, Lou Imhoff, who's here, and I see his lovely wife, Danielle, here, our township administrator from Prospect Park, so thank you for joining us, Danielle, and I want to wish them both a happy birthday. Belatedly. I'll leave it to Creole the rest to say if he wants.
I haven't got much of a voice, so I'm not going to have much to say except to thank you, Assad, for the birthday wish. There's an unusual number of March 12th birthdays in my circle of friends, and it's always nice to be able to celebrate that with Lou, with freeholder Tracy Zer from Bergen County, about half a dozen other folks. Thank you very much for the acknowledgement, and I know we acknowledged Tanya Ireland is here. Councilwoman Lauren Murphy from Clifton is also here with us today, celebrating Irish heritage, and hopefully I'll have a voice in 2 weeks and can say more.
I'd just like to come up and introduce yourself. Gwan Berger works until tonight at the One Stop Career Center. Lauren Murphy came today. She's our director there. He has been a remarkable employee. He's the guy who goes out to employers. He has gotten employers to hire ex-offenders. He has been in charge of a program for parolees, not just our jail. But he's taken over the supervision of the program that we run at the Passaic County Jail for reentry in partnership with the One Stop and EVAS, which has been very successful since he's taken it over. But I know that some of you didn't get the chance to meet him. I would like you to meet him now, and if you have anything to say, go on, I'll be happy to listen to you. Nah, I have nothing to say. No, I'm kidding.
Thank you. Once again, I appreciate the opportunity and confidence. More than I'm just I'm from Passaic County, I'm from Patterson my whole life, and the opportunity to do more and more here, it's great. I've had great mentorship, definitely from Director Murphy, definitely from Juniors and Psychology also. And once again, I just appreciate the opportunity, to keep paying it forward, to keep doing better, and doing more. And hopefully, we can just keep pushing forward, keep doing better.
So I want to point out that his focus, and this is from him, is more going to be focused, the good board should be more focused on employers and reaching out to people who are employers. And I just want to point out we had somebody from PSE&G on our board for years as the chairman of the good board. When PSE&G was hiring, literally thousands of people, you know how many jobs we got from Passaic County out of that? 0. So the focus has to be on employers and improving what we do, and Juan has, in the process, committed to doing that. He's already doing it, so I'm pretty excited that I think it's going to result in a lot more connection with the people that actually provide the jobs in Passaic County. So I'm thrilled to be working with you, and I'm happy you're coming on board, and I'm glad you brought your wife.
Thank you. And just to add to that also, that is one of the key points that I want to put to the board. I want to put that task out there. I want to hold the members a little bit more accountable in putting in, I would just say, some opportunities for the individuals from this county, especially when we're going through the processes at the One Stop and through our trainings and giving them the opportunities for somebody to gain for employment, as well as we're going to be moving out and we're going to be bringing in new members and bringing in businesses of various ages and sizes across the county. We want more diversity, we want more opportunity, we want inclusion.
All right, thank you. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Welcome aboard.
Thanks to that.
Forward to work. Okay.
Appreciate you.
If we vote for you, congratulations.
Don't let him depress you.
I have more here, yes.
Okay, anyone else?
I want to thank my colleagues for making the celebration every year. It's always so fun. Sorry about the bagpipes, Anthony, but I'm a little busy. Next year. It's interesting that we have the Hispanic celebration and we have Spanish food. We had the Black History Month celebration, we had some African American food, and we have the Irish celebration, we have soda bread. Yeah, so enjoy your soda bread. Thank you.
Oh wait, I gotta go. I wanted to just congratulate my cousin, Terry Duffy, on doing a great job with this program. Being a Duffy myself, related. I'm a quarter Irish. He's a quarter Italian, but I'm a quarter Irish. And I did find out on my DNA ancestry that Terry Duffy is in fact related to me. And so I just want to congratulate him on doing a great job as usual. So
well, that's going to change Thanksgiving.
I told him I'm Irish Man of the Year next year.
We have rules about that.
We can get to like 6th or 7th cousins, it doesn't matter. So.
Motion to accept communications.
Second.
After best.
Freeholders Bartlett. Actor.
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore. Yes. Deputy Director James. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Motion to open the public portion of the meeting. Dr. Bartlett.
Freeholders Actor.
Yes.
Bartlett. Yes. Best.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Deputy Director James. Yes. Director Lazare.
Yes. Anyone wishing to be heard come up to the podium? You have 2 minutes to speak. And just state your name and address.
Good evening. I'm here on behalf of Mayor Carula, 106 Brown Avenue, Prospect Park. Danielle Ireland, the Prospect Park Road Administrator. The mayor couldn't be here tonight. He's unfortunately at a Board of Ed meeting, so he sends his regards and his appreciation and his gratitude for the resolution that was passed tonight for our traffic signal at North 8th Street and Plantation Avenue, Prospect Park. So thank you to Freeholder Director Lazare, Director James, Freeholder Bartlett, Public Safety Committee, and the rest of the Freeholder Board for always keeping Passaic County's safety as a priority and Prospect Park's safety. This traffic light is going to be a great benefit to that intersection, and we're very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I also need to thank Steve Edmond, his team, and Deborah Hoffman for all of their amazing, fantastic help in being my point people on this project.
I'm sorry, what's your name for
State your name for the record.
For the record.
Danielle Ireland and Huff.
That's cool.
Hi, Terry McMahon from Dutch Hill Residents Association. My associates wouldn't come up with me, Joan Sanford and John Bakmansky. We just wanted to follow up on this issue with Weaselbrook Park. The fees are really, we love the changes in Weaselbrook Park. The improvements are great. The fees are kind of preventing us from having our fundraiser there.
You know we waived the fees, right?
Oh, no.
Well, not officially.
Well, I was so happy to get a response from Director Lazare. Do you want to tell me about it, or?
Sure.
Comment on it?
So I called the Parks Department and I saved the date of June 2nd for you and the rain date of June 9th.
Okay.
However, your group has to go online and fill out the application.
Okay.
Just, to make it legitimate. There's a Public Works meeting tomorrow. We have to pass it by the Public Works Department tomorrow to get the fee waived.
Okay.
And as soon as we hear anything, I will be glad to reach out to you.
Is this a fee would be waived in perpetuity, or is this a one-off? Or just for June 2nd? We can come back.
You don't need to come back, you would need to write a letter.
Yeah. Okay, we can do that. Again, we have 2 markets, one's in September, so we'll need to address that fairly soon as well.
Just don't forget to go online and fill out the paper.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I mean, that helps us tremendously. So, thank you so much.
Hi, Ann Schnackenberg, 268 Washington Ave, Clifton, New Jersey. I'm here tonight just to say thanks and to let people know that Save Raffle Camp Park Coalition, the Friends of Garrett Mountain Reservation, and other stakeholders are glad to hear that and glad to experience that the Friends of Passaic County Parks have opened their monthly meetings to the public. It's a great step in the right direction, and it helps to get us moving on with things, and we are looking forward to good things for our parks. And on that note, some of the things we're hoping to have more communication with our groups, and hopefully maybe some more meetings. We can assist with things like scheduling. I have here a flyer about Global Big Day. Springtime is a big day for birding at Garrett Mountain. And I'm also including a little information on how birding goes across the state of New Jersey and where Garrett Mountain ranks in that, because it is a premier birding site for migratory birds in the spring. And it's on a route. There's actually people that travel the whole state, come from far away in the state and all for that. So a little information on that I have for you. And that's pretty much it. If you are having a meeting about with Public Works, I know that it's not occurring right now. The observatory is closed, but the fees for the public for observation nights that were put in place, and I know that it's not occurring now. I don't want to give anyone the impression that there is any kind of observation night. Please reconsider those and making them. When you move forward with the new observatory and the new nature center, please consider making those public nights free again. So, thank you.
Director Lazaire, Freeholders. My name is Neil Weissman. I live in Lower Manhattan. I'm here to ask for a letter of support on behalf of Complete George, which is a coalition of 200 organizations, businesses, and communities calling on the Port Authority to widen the bike paths on the George Washington Bridge to comply with national standards as part of the upcoming recabling. You're getting copies of extended remarks, including a draft letter of support on the back of the cover sheet and a resolution from the New York City Council on the very back page. But over the next 7 years, the Port Authority will rip out and restore the 1931 pedestrian paths on the GWB as part of a $2 billion restoration. The George is the sole bikeable connector between North Jersey and New York City. Its 7-foot paths are already dangerously overcrowded at 3,700 cyclists per day on weekends, and that's been growing at 10% per year. There's no precedent for crowding so many users on such a narrow path, but that's the Port Authority's plan. If these are not widened to comply with national standards, AASHTO, the mile-long George will revert to pedestrian use only. This will hobble the growth of cycling across the region for generations, impacting tourism, public health, property taxes, sustainability, and resilience annually worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Conversely, wider paths would spur creation of a connected grid, such as the Bergen Park Master Plan, which shares 3 facilities with Passaic. This will create new Trans-Hudson capacity capable of drawing down bus trips into Manhattan. Now, this is important because while we may have survived the summer of hell, winter is coming. And when I say that, I mean widespread extended disruptions to bus and train service over the coming decades, resulting from planned upgrades to the bus terminal in Penn Station, plus any number of unplanned weather or man-made events, including, unless we are really lucky, emergency repairs to the Hudson rail tunnels, which would knock out 75% of bi-state service for 2 years. Should any of this come to pass, AASHTO-compliant GWB paths could sustain 20,000 bike commuters per day, drawing first from communities near the bridge, but reducing congestion and freeing capacity for those further out. There are right now 60 North Jersey municipalities are now calling for wider GWB paths, including Haledon, Hawthorne, and Wayne. Also Congressman Pasquale at Union and Bergen Freeholders, and I would like to add Passaic County. Thank you.
Seeing no one next item, I move to
Public portion. Freeholder.
Freeholders, Actor.
Yes.
Bartlett. Best.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Lazare.
Yes.
Director Mayor. Neil, I just wanted to thank you for coming. You've been coming to NJTPA for our last couple meetings, and your research is always impeccable and thorough. We've done a lot here in Passaic County to make this a safer place to bike with dedicated bike lanes and sharrows. We're hoping at some point to have folks be able to bike all the way across Patterson to and from the Great Falls. And I don't know quite how many Passaic County residents will be biking across the George, but certainly very appreciative of all this information and hope we can move forward with the support.
Okay, moving on to resolutions, I'd like to pull 01. Have a motion?
You don't need to
I know.
do
Okay, have a motion to accept the added resolution P40, James and Bartlett.
I'm sorry, James.
And Bartlett.
Freeholders, Actor. Bartlett. Best.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Ford. Deputy Director James. Director Lazare.
Yes. Can I have a motion to accept resolutions P1 through P40?
Move it. Second.
Four and one? Or Bartlett and what? Okay, Bartlett and
Freeholders, Actor.
Yes, I'll abstain on P30.
Freeholders, Bartlett.
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Lazare.
yes. Okay. Moving on to new business. I'd like to pull from the personnel file on page 1, number 1, and on page 10, number 1. On personnel, I'm pulling on page 1, number 1, and on page 10.
There was an employee that declined their job.
Have a motion?
Move it. Second.
Report and update.
Freeholders, Actor.
Yes.
Bartlett. Best.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Deputy Director James. Director Lazare.
Yes. Have a motion to accept the bills.
Move the bills.
Second.
Freeholders, Actor. Bartlett. Best.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Ford. Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Lazare.
Yes. Have a motion to move the certification of payroll.
Move it.
Report and updates.
Freeholders, Actor. Bartlett.
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Deputy Director James. Director Lazare.
Yes. Review departmental records.
Receive and file.
Have a motion to adjourn.
Director, I want to remind people to take some soda bread home.
Yes, please do.
Well, we'll send it to Reeves Fitching. Right, yeah.
Save it for next year. Gets better with age.
That's all the other choice.
Moved by,
Second. Freeholder.
Freeholders, Actor. Bartlett. Best.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Deputy Director James. Director Lazare.
St. Patrick was born not in Ireland, but in Britain around AD 35. Well, actually, he wasn't called St. Patrick at the time, or even Patrick, but was referred to as Maewyn Succat. Good thing he changed his name later. St. Maewyn's Day just doesn't have the same ring. We'll stick with Patrick, just in case I'm slaughtering that pronunciation. Patrick was quite far from being a saint growing up. Until he was 16, he considered himself a pagan, or maybe even an atheist by today's definition. It was at that age when he was taken into slavery by a group of Irish marauders that attacked his village. Patrick was sold to his master, a Druid chief in Ireland, and served him for 6 years. It was during his captivity that he became a Christian. One day he heard what he described as a voice compelling him in his sleep to leave his master and find a ship that awaited him. He fled to the coast of Ireland and eventually made it back to his home. He then decided to study in the monastery and stayed there for 12 years, during which he decided that his calling was to convert the pagans to Christianity. Eventually, he adopted his Christian name, Patricius, or Patrick as we now know it, and returned to Ireland after being appointed a bishop. Patrick was very successful at winning converts, which upsetted the Celtic Druids, who had him arrested several times, but he managed to escape each arrest. Patrick traveled through Ireland, establishing monasteries, schools, and churches throughout the land. Eventually, Patrick returned to where he had once been a slave, to pay his ransom to his former master. Despite being treated cruelly, Patrick didn't hold a grudge against him. As Patrick approached his master's old homestead, to his horror he saw that it was in flames. Patrick found out that the stories people told about him had preceded him, and in a fit of frenzy, his old master gathered all of his treasures into his mansion, set them on fire, and then threw himself into the flames. An ancient record adds that his pride could not endure the thought of being vanquished by his former slave. There are a lot of legends surrounding St. Patrick. Some say that he raised people from the dead. Others say that he drove snakes out of Ireland, but since there aren't any fossil records of snakes in Ireland at that time, it's highly unlikely, unless he drove out the fossils as well. Many think that snakes was a metaphor for the conversion of the pagans, meaning that he drove paganism out from Ireland. Green wasn't the original color associated with St. Patrick, it was first blue. It eventually changed for various reasons, probably because of being used in various Irish flags and how green is associated with Ireland itself. Patrick worked in Ireland for 30 years. Afterwards, he retired and then died on March 17th, in AD 461. There wasn't a canonization process when Patrick died. That didn't come up until the 12th century. He would have been declared a saint by acclamation, and his sainthood approved by a local bishop soon after he died. St. Patrick's Day was originally a Catholic holiday, and still is, but has also evolved into a secular holiday, being celebrated by non-Irish, non-Catholics, and ironically enough, even atheists. Today, when people think of St. Patrick, they imagine a leprechaun in a green jacket, hat, pipe, clover, and a pot of gold. Not a man who devoted 30 years of his life to teaching and helping the Irish. Hopefully you now know a little more about the history of St. Patrick.